Karen closes the door behind her and stands briefly on the back patio. She has to fight the urge to cry. None of this was supposed to happen. She's losing Tom. She sits down in one of the wicker chairs, hoping Tom will join her, but he doesn't. And she feels sad and lonely and angry and frightened. And this terrible suspicion she suddenly feels. Where was Tom for that hour? What is he not telling her? How she wishes she could remember what happened that night. What had she done? She wants to escape the tension of the house with her and Tom in it. She rises from the chair, walks across the back of the house and down the driveway. Maybe she should drop in on Bridget. But she can't face talking to Bridget right now. She walks briskly down the sidewalk away from the house. She needs to think. Karen's gone out, and Tom's home alone. Bridget had seen him return just a few minutes ago. Something's definitely up. Bridget steps outside and quickly crosses the street. She doesn't know how long she has before Karen returns. She climbs the steps and knocks on the front door. He doesn't answer right away. She knocks again. Finally, Tom yanks open the door, looking tired and distraught. There are hollows in his handsome face that didn't used to be there. He looks ashen. "Hi," she says. "Hi," Tom says. His left hand remains on the edge of the door as if he's about to close it again at any moment. Karen's not home. She's just gone out for a bit. "I know," Bridget says. "I saw her go down the street." She hesitates. "I was hoping to get you alone, actually, for a minute." She slips past him into the living room. Now he either has to ask her to leave or close the door behind her. She doesn't think he's going to ask her to leave. "I wanted to ask you about Karen," Bridget says, turning around to face him. "How's she doing? Is she all right?" Tom looks back at her coldly. "She's getting better." "She seemed really rattled when I was here the other day," Bridget says, "about the glass. That wasn't like her at all." Tom nods. "It's just, there's a lot going on right now." "I know," Bridget says. "I saw that those detectives were here again a little while ago." She pauses. When Tom didn't say anything, she asks, "What did they want?" Tom says tightly, "They wanted to see if she remembers anything about the accident yet, but she doesn't. She says she doesn't know what happened that night." "And you believe her?" Bridget says. "Of course I believe her," Tom says, bristling. "But the police don't?" "I don't know what the police believe. Nothing they say makes any sense." Bridget eyes him carefully. Their earlier phone conversation about Karen hangs between them. She can't resist bringing it up. She says, "The day of the accident, the reason I called you and asked you to meet me, it was to tell you about the man snooping around, hinting about Karen's past. I thought if I tried to tell you over the phone, you'd hang up on me. But then my sister called and..." "I don't want to talk about it," Tom says abruptly. There's an awkward silence. Then Tom says, "Maybe you should try Karen again in the morning." She nods. "Sure, I'll call on her then." She adds, "You look exhausted, Tom." He runs a hand through his hair and says, "That's because I am exhausted. If there's anything I can do to help," Bridget says, and puts her hand lightly on his arm, "just ask." "Thanks," Tom says stiffly, "but I'll be fine." She can feel the warmth of his bare forearm under her hand. He moves away from her, breaking the contact. "Good night," she says, and turns to go back down the stairs to go home. She looks across the lawn and the street to her own house, empty and almost entirely in darkness, except for the light over the front door. Tom closes the door behind Bridget with relief, then rests his body against it and feels himself sag with fatigue. He always feels awkward and tense around Bridget. He dislikes the close friendship that has developed between Bridget and his wife. He knows it's selfish of him He drifts into the living room, wondering what Bridget is thinking. She recognizes the detectives. Detectives don't investigate car accidents. She obviously suspects something is more is going on. And he knows she has questions about Karen's past. He wishes she hadn't shared her suspicions with him. If what Bridget suspects is true, then Karen's deceptive behavior started long before the night of the accident. And yet, it's so hard to believe. He remembers all the happy times they've had together, holding hands, walking through the woods in the fall, having coffee together in the backyard in summer, nestled in bed under the covers in winter. He's always felt completely in love with her, always believed that they were completely committed to each other, but now he doesn't know what he believes. If she really can't remember, why wouldn't she make an effort to get her memory back, like the detective said? Tom goes into the kitchen and reaches into a cupboard for a bottle of whiskey. There's a lot of liquor left over from their wedding party almost 2 years ago. He rarely has anything more than a beer or a glass of wine with dinner. Now he pours himself a stiff one, and he waits for his wife.